Well, I started Encore Occasions at the end of 2007, and at the same time I decided to go back to college, because I obviously had trained in music and stuff like that, but I wanted to go back and learn a bit more about business skills and how I could best provide the best possible service for couples. So I went back to college that year as well and studied 2 different courses, one in public relations and one in event management. After I toured with Riverdance for a little while as their lead singer, I decided to go to London and train at the Royal Academy of Music. And rather than study more classical singing, I wanted to branch out and do different techniques. So I studied musical theatre.
The musicians we used were very high caliber, mostly kind of the type of players you'd find in the National Symphony Orchestra or the RTE Concert Orchestra. It's the most efficient way of doing this job, and it gets stuff very much the highest standard.
Yeah, I mean, the training makes the vocal training makes a really big difference. And certainly when I'm singing with other singers as well, I often do a lot of duets with either guys or a group of 3 girls. On their wedding day, it's really important that they have something reliable. And when you've got singers who are trained and they know their posture should be a certain way, they know how to use their diaphragm, they know how to breathe properly, it makes me feel more at ease if I'm singing with someone and I know they're going to hit that high note, and I'm not going to be worried about it because I know they're a really good singer.
Once I have the piano score, I can then write other lines over it. Obviously the vocal lines go in, and then it depends on what the requirement is in terms of instruments. If it's violin, flute, cello, harp, guitar, trumpet even, or uilleann pipes, whatever it is we're writing for, I write an individual line for each instrument, and that makes up the arrangement that gets played at the ceremony, and then that goes into our library.
I just met a lot of these musicians as I've been working through doing various musicals and working here in Dublin at the National Concert Hall and at the Gaiety Theatre, and you meet lots of fabulously talented musicians, so I just thought it would be a great idea to bring them all together and to work with them. So we have have ended up playing the theme tune from Indiana Jones for some couple's exit from the church, which may have been a little bit strange, but it worked very, very well with strings and piano.
Basically, I'll write a violin, a cello, a flute line, if that's what the requirement is above that. And then when it's all done, the parts can be separated out. You can go into a great device here where it'll just bring a line up. That brings you the vocal line up, and you save those to PDF files, and then I send them all off to Naoise, and she holds them on file.
I promise you, as I give to you my heart.
So for a typical wedding, I'll draw music obviously from the large library that I have, and I've got rows and rows of sheet music at home that are all filed and alphabetically organised, and it makes it easy to pull the music out the day before, whichever musician needs which piece. And then obviously if David has written any new music, I will print that off, and we put it all together into individual folders for the musicians to bring along to each wedding. So they're all individually tagged, and each musician then gets a folder of their own with the prelude music, first of all, which is 10 to 15 minutes of music before a couple arrive, just to kind of help create the atmosphere. And then obviously they also get the music for each individual piece of music that a couple have chosen.
For God must know how I love you so.
Well, for the first 2 years with Encore Occasions, or for the first year or so, we focused very much on arranging and specialising in music for the wedding ceremony itself. So that would be standard Catholic ceremonies, Church of Ireland ceremonies, humanist ceremonies, Unitarian, lots of different types.
My love has come along. My lonely days are over, and life is like a song. Whoa, yeah, at last the skies above are blue, and my heart was wrapped in clover.
Since then, we've started to branch out and provide pre-reception entertainment and background music during the meal, and we have some very specialist dessert entertainment.
I found a dream that I could speak to.
So we've everything from an electric string quartet, cello quartet for classical music, individual classical musicians such as flute, harp, Spanish guitar.
My cheek to a thrill.
Obviously, having worked with Riverdance, I've worked with some fantastic Irish musicians, so we do Cowley groups and Irish dancing for after the meal as well. And then we also have a couple of novelty acts like the singing waiters.
And here we are in heaven.
We also then look after the hire of grand pianos and some lighting, because the visual image of your music and your music entertainment is just as important as the sound.
You are mine at last, for you are mine at last. Imagine me and you, I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right to think about the one you love and hold him tight. So happy together. If I should call you up, invest a dime, and you say you belong to me and ease my mind, imagine how the world could be so very fine, so happy together.